Okay, good morning again. I guess I just had a false start. My name is Dr. John Taylor Kent. What I want to bring to your attention is that I have two channels, and the other one is called Awakening Israel. And you'll see a big red circle with the capital letter A in it. I haven't learned how to do thumbnails yet. I'm still a novice here on my phone, learning how to use it because I just had a false start. I thought I was going to pause it and start it up again and learn how to be able to pause it so I can take interruptions and breaks when I'm doing this rather than having to start a whole new video. But I don't know what I'm doing on my own cell phone, and YouTube is still new to me. I still haven't sorted things out there. I'm pretty grateful for the platform. I certainly wish that it was regulated as a public utility and that my free speech rights, as well as everyone's free speech rights, were fully entertained with YouTube and the other dominant forces that provide these utility services for us. They're basically utilities and monopolies. Our government's famous at creating monopolies like they did with this private banking system through which the entire country has been subverted and through which the world has been hammered as American might is projected across the world in an illegal fashion. We never should have been dragged into World War I. There was nothing wrong with the Kaiser and with Germany. We didn't do a good enough job destroying the Germans so that they fabricated another war for us, World War II. Anyway, I want you to subscribe to both channels if you wouldn't mind. I want you to give me the thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. I don't have much viewership. I'm not going through very well. I got a few subscribers. Glad for that. I appreciate your patience, your tolerance putting up with me. I don't always express myself well. I sometimes speak without thinking and put my foot in my mouth all the time. My mother said, "Kid, you got no tact. You weren't born with any tact. You're tactless." Well, I had the innocence of a child and I was honest. And caused me a lot of trouble when I was a little boy and causes me trouble today even. Because you can't be honest with people. They won't tolerate it. Thank God we tolerate it in children, though, because that might help us to stay sane. So Awakening Israel is going to be the Bible-oriented show. And this is going to be more of the philosophical, psychological, and political area. But these things overlap so much that occasionally I'll upload the same video to both channels. The whole purpose of this is to turn 5% of our nation, it's to save our republic, to recover our republic, and to save the world, because at this point, we're the only thing standing between the little guy around the planet and the bad guys. And the problem is we're failing miserably. We're not doing our jobs. We are not the bright light on the hill that Ronald Reagan, Red Ronnie, claimed. All of our presidents have been maligned about forever. Every one of our presidents is required to support Israel above and beyond America, or they don't even get a chance to get a shot at the seat. So we're run by that little postage stamp of a country, which isn't even Israel. That's the big deal. They pulled off a really big identity theft. That basically is Edom. That's what Edom is, and Edom is ruling the world today. So we are at a point in which Edom is being discovered every day. We discover more of their stuff. They have laid incredible traps for us, and we're talking about really, really intricate traps. It's hard for a man to understand. It's such a big conspiracy, and it is a conspiracy, and it's very well organized. There appears to be a group that's hiding behind the scenes, and there appears to be a group that's hiding behind that group. So we're not really certain who's running the world today, but you can bet they're evil as hell. You can bet that they're bad people. And it's not that everyone can be saved. That group, those people cannot be saved. There's no redemption for them. They were born to go into the lake of fire. They were predestined for that. Jesus ain't going to save them. And if you don't get off your butt, if I don't get off my butt, we don't get saved either. And we need to get off our butts so that we can save this planet, so the earth will continue to exist. The earth will continue to be able to sustain life, because we're challenging the systems right now. These guys have done such horrible stuff. It'll take a long time for us to sort out all the bad stuff they've done once we are in authority and we get control of it. We have to get rid of Washington, D.C. and this errant government that's in D.C. It's a corporate government. It's not an organic government. It's not a constitutional government. The money system is horrible. It's debt-based, and because we're beholden to it, we get manipulated into wars. Really a bad idea. Our founders didn't give us a debt-based system. They gave us a wealth-based system, true wealth, gold and silver, physical, tangible coins that could not be counterfeited, could not be, inflated, if you will. Inflation is just another word for theft. And that's what's going on, is they're stealing from you and me. They're stealing from us very directly and really badly. Why is it that we have to put a Jew in charge of the Federal Reserve System? And not only that, is this a false Jew? Is this an Edomite? Is this a person from the Ashkenazi who converted to Judaism, and really are Turkish Mongolian descent? They are not Semitic. Yeah, that's right. They aren't Semites. I know you think, well, they're Semitic. Dr. Kent is anti-Semitic. No, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm a Semite myself. How can I be against myself? So that's my argument to you. And a Semite, what is a Semite? Semitic peoples are classified upon using Semitic languages. So it's a classification not based upon race, genetics. It's based upon language. What I want for you to understand is that Israel today is the United States of America. Israel today is Great Britain, the once great empire. Israel today is Canada, part of that empire. Israel today is Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Chile, Europe, all of Europe. Israel today are the descendants of the man named Israel. They're not inhabitants of a geographical area. They're not inhabitants of a country that was started illegally by terrorism, by theft, by graft. They're not a country that's maintained by theft and by graft and by taxing Americans. Yes, you and I are supporting all those people at a higher standard of living than we get to have. They have better medical care and better education than we get. And we're paying for it all. How American is that? How American of us? Look, folks, we've got a problem. That little postage stamp of a country has been controlling us. They assassinated President Kennedy in order to get nukes. Go ask David Ben-Gurion, who was a practicing Hindu. I can't remember what his original name was, but he was a terrorist and he founded that country with his terrorism. He did some horrible stuff. You have to realize that they're in control. They illegally occupy and run the United States of America. We shouldn't be having dual citizens in any position of government, be it elected or bureaucrat. They shouldn't be allowed to even be inside the country as far as I'm concerned. Their loyalties are divided. They can be recruited at any time to act upon the Edomites, their will, upon the Khazarian will. I think the best thing to call them is the Khazarian Mafia, because they come out of ancient Khazaria, which is located in an area that has the Ukraine in its heart, but was much bigger than just the Ukraine. They existed probably till 1100 AD, when our brothers in Israel, Russians, ran them off. And they got pushed mostly into Poland. Before you go getting upset about the Polish people, I identify with them to a large extent. My mom was, well, her mother was Polish. The name was Novak. So the Poles are good people. The Ashkenazi, I don't know about. I'm not so sure about. I think that the Ashkenazi as a whole, there's no problem with them. But when it comes down to a small group, especially the international bankers that come from among them, that started, on Judenstrasse or whatever it was in Frankfurt, that started the Frankfurt School, which was a horrible satanic type of school, and started the banking system through the Bowers, who changed their name to Rothschild. They've taken over the whole world. They run the whole planet at this point. They're behind the scenes. And they were ruled by murderers and thieves. They've stolen most of their wealth. I would have to say all of their wealth. They set up a bunch of fronts, and they pay off a lot of people to help them out. A lot of people that are in their pocket. A lot of judges in particular in their pockets. A lot of people in positions of authority do their bidding. They get to send out their henchmen anytime they want to whack somebody. They killed Kennedy. They killed a lot of our presidents. Many presidents were assassinated, and we still don't know it. They killed Lincoln. They killed Bobby Kennedy. It's a horrible group of people, murderers and thieves. And so they've stolen all of the wealth of the United States. They've stolen all of our money. They debased our currency. They took our silver and our gold. They stole the land that's here. We were supposed to have patented land that couldn't be attached, couldn't be taxed, it couldn't be taken away, just like the Israelites had in ancient Israel. They had land that stayed within their families as well. And that patented land came from alloidial title. Alloidial title. I don't think I say it right. I put an I in there where it doesn't belong. Which came out of the county of Kent. Remember my name? Kent. Dr. John Taylor Kent. Yeah. Well, the Kent family served the King of England, served the crown so well that we were given a land grant in the New World in 1649. That was patented land. We were all supposed to own our own little bit of land that could not be attached, and it couldn't be taxed. And we had all the rights to it until the bankers pulled another fraud on us and substituted and gave us titles. Title to the property. A name sheet rather than a real title. An alloidial title. Patented land. Okay, I want you to go over to Awakening Israel. I want you to buy my Bibles. That's how you can help me out. Don't send me money. I don't want your money, although I could really put it to good use right now. I'm living on a shoestring. But I really want to give you more value. So I'm going to give you the best deal possible on the proper name version of the King James Bible. The newest and greatest modern English version of the Bible, published in 2015, printed in 2019, and they're cheap right now. They're probably about 1/3 the price they should be at. Yeah, for $37.77, I think you get the large print edition, which I rather enjoy. 14-point print. They took us over through our Bibles, in case you're wondering, by giving us a faulty translation called the Scofield Reference Study Bible in about 1917, 1907. They took over our seminaries, in my estimation, by the time of the Civil War. So all of these organized churches were controlled centrally controlled, just like the rest of the world. Everything's controlled by a small group. And I think there's a smaller group behind them and a smaller group behind them. So we really don't know who's in charge here, except I will tell you the Bible reveals that they are the children of the fallen angels. They are descendants, the literal DNA offspring. We're not just dealing with spiritual children here, we're dealing with real DNA offspring. And they screwed up creation by bringing their fallen angelic DNA in here to this planet. They screwed us all up. And they're busy mixing us up to confuse us. They're busy dividing us and conquering us so they can rule over us. And they're going to keep doing it until we identify them and call them out. So if you want to know who the bad guys are, look at your international bankers. Look at the highest ranked bankers in your community and in your city, and see and check and see who they're beholden to. See what their lineage is. See what their pedigrees are. Yeah, I know that's identifying people. Well, we live in a time in which people can identify any way they want. So I'm identifying an Israelite. My buddy, who's just been long deceased now, he called himself an Israelite Christian or a biblical Christian. The Bible says different things than what these pastors tell us. The pastors do lie. You've got to read the Bible for yourself. So go to Awakening Israel. Please go to that and avail yourself of that, because I really want to populate Bible-oriented videos there so that you'll understand the Bible. You'll be able to read it better for yourself. And some of you can actually instruct me. We all learn from each other. There's nothing more I enjoy than talking about the truth that's in the Bible. And when we hang out together and we talk respectfully and we brainstorm, the Spirit's definitely there, and we learn a lot more. A lot more. And it's important that we have that fellowship. So that's why I'm out there. My purpose is to turn 5% of Americans into daily Bible readers who know the truth, understand the truth, and cannot be deceived, who are able to stand their ground, to hold their ground, just like Yeshua told us. Hold your ground and be not deceived. And in order to be not deceived and to be able to hold your ground and understand your ground and your place, your identity, and to know who the bad guys are, you have to read the Bible. The basis for all of Western civilization, which is being destroyed as we speak, as we live and breathe. We are under attack. The evil ones are trying to take us down. They aren't going to succeed, but the sad thing is, between now and our victory, they're going to kill a lot more of us until we wake up and stop playing their stupid, ugly, dirty, murderous they brought us pestilence. The next on the schedule is famine, and then after that comes war, the sword. They abide by the Bible as well, only they have just nothing but evil in their hearts. They want to be God. They lord it over us. They believe that by mimicking and doing what's in the Bible that they get to play God, that they are God. We need to take them down a couple of notches. We need to take control of our nation back. Reestablish the republic. May Yahweh bless.